So here's the Cat 4-5 race, same day, Edwardsville Crit 2025. Again, this is my second race of the day. The first one was super, super hot, and then there was a women's race of some sort, and some storms came through, but it didn't really rain on us, just a little bit of spritzing, and then this 4-5 race kicked off. And look at the temperature difference, right? It's cloudy, 77 degrees, it was beautiful. Yeah, I needed about 10 minutes of stand there in shock after my last race, and then I don't know, I had about 30 minutes to get calories in me, and well, I was getting calories in right away. Calories in me and get recovered and catch my breath and get ready to get on this race. And I had just gotten up to the start line. I had about a minute before they kicked us off. I don't know, I was just moving kind of slow when I was getting my water bottles filled back up and doing all that stuff. But anyway, Cat 4-5. I wanted to see how far I could get in this one. I wanted to get a couple races in my belt at this event, and they were back to back. So bigger field. The total number was 28 people at the starting line for this race. Definitely a faster pace, but I felt way better, if you can believe that. Doesn't mean I did better, but I certainly felt a lot better. And plus, getting back on the course, having just finished the Cat 5 race, I was well familiar with all the turns and the pitfalls and those things of the course, but now there's just a bigger field. So I don't know. I don't have too much to say about this race. I'll fast forward here and show you some of the bits of it. Nothing too dramatic or exciting happened. There was no duking it out with anyone in particular. It was just me trying to hang on as long as I could. Yeah, look at this power I'm putting down just to keep him in sight. Definitely a different race than the Cat 5 race, where I was at the front after the first lap, or close to the front after the first lap. This one I'm already dangling off the back, wondering how long I'm going to hang on. Pretty high speeds through here. Boy, the dangle, look at that. They're in sight. And I know you watch these and say, just stand up and close that gap. Well, it's easier said than done. I want to yell at myself, yell in my own ear, tell me to get to work. But in the moment when you're fatigued, it's a little bit harder. You'd think from this that I'm gone, but I'm not. I'll get back on. They slow up a little bit. And coming into this turn, the guys in the back there are probably having to ride brakes a little bit to make that turn because they're in a crowd, and I can go full speed through here. Close it in a little bit. And I'm on the tail end of them again. And that's crit racing. Of course, they're going to start pushing again. I'm on a wheel here, but if you look up, let's see, I think I peek around here. You can see what the main group is, so at least I've got a wheel to follow here. Yeah, because there was threats of rain in the area still, I put the GoPro in its case on the front, and that's why it just sounds like there's that rattling sound. That's just the GoPro prick case, I think, rattling against my brake cables probably. Anyway, I set on these guys' wheel through here. I think my timing's a little out of sync with my overlays here. As we come up this hill, let's see what kind of speeds we get to here. 27, that looks about right. I think 25, 24. So that's when I start up the hill. Yeah, so the sync is off just a tiny bit. So excuse that if it's off a little bit. But you can see my power numbers jumping up as we're going up the hill. We're dangling. Now, I don't know if these guys that are in front of me here, if these are Cat 4 or Cat 5 racers, because they don't really differentiate in the 4 or 5 here. I'm just happy to have a wheel to ride with, someone to ride with and hang on to. Some partners in dangling from the main field. Yeah, this was definitely harder than the Cat 5 race. Here's a nice draft right here. This guy pulled me around for a while. I could draft off each one of those calves, I think. Let's see where the field is up around this turn. Yeah, they're starting to line out there a little bit. Must be an attack going down up front. Wish I could show you the rear view. I don't have it, but I don't think there's anyone behind me at this point. I think people that are falling off were completely falling off. I don't remember really anyone sitting on my wheel through these sections here. Oh, I'm making a big move. Look at that. That was a good time. And this downhill is probably my favorite part. If I'm going to pass somebody, this is the section right here. Because I felt very comfortable coming into this turn here. Ooh, that was close. Now I'm by myself. Now those guys are right behind me, of course. But now I've got to decide what kind of effort I want to put in to try to move up to the group. Or do I sag a little bit and ride my abilities, within my abilities here, and wait for someone to come around me? Oh, heartbreaking. Look at him pulling way up there. Yeah, this little uphill right here, it just burned. It was just enough to really put the hurt on you. Big attack there. He's full sending it. I think he knows that if he doesn't close that gap, that his race is over. I've accepted that I probably wouldn't be in this race for the full duration, but I was gonna hang on the best I could. And again, this is my second race of the day. I had about a 45-minute break from the first one, so to put in an effort like that, it just wasn't gonna happen. And again, I'm not in last place, but I'm not mid-pack either. I'm definitely at the back. All right, rolling through. We're kind of by ourselves here. I don't remember if anyone's behind me at this point. Big power up the hill. I've got to hang on because I'm by myself. A little flick of the elbow. I'll play along as best I can, but I'm sure he's disappointed in the outcome. I'll do the best I can. I ended up riding with this guy for quite a while. I'm going to fast forward and do some cutting here, but I stick with him for a long time. He mostly pulls me around the course. And you can see I'm just floating through these sections here when I'm in the front, coasting a lot more than I should be. And my heart rate's not that high, but at this point my legs are really fatigued because it's my second race. And when we power up this hill each time, you know, that's 600-700 watts. That's a lot for me to do over and over again. So the heart rate doesn't reflect the fatigue level I'm feeling here, but I know these guys, I have to stay on their wheel as long as I can. I've been with them for a while now. I do not want to get dropped from this little group. So I've got to do everything I can to stick with them. He's going to look back, see if I'll take a pull. I'm pretty tired. I didn't show up, but he pulled a couple of laps in a row with me on his wheel. I cut that section out. So, not trying to misrepresent or anything. I'm happy to do what I can. I'll give it a whirl again. But I ain't got much left at this point. So for this 4-5 race, I'll give you my data. My average power was 220 watts. The average weighted power was 230 watts. Max heart rate 178, average heart rate 165, and average speed was 22.3. Which all of those statistics were a little bit better than the Cat 5 race. And I made it 30 minutes in this race compared to the length of 25 minutes for the initial Cat 5. I did get pulled from this at 30 minutes. I think it was a 40-minute race, but made it longer, and I had better numbers all the way throughout. Even though I was feeling fatigued, that temperature made a huge difference. So look at that, 77 degrees and cloudy. It was beautiful. Wish I could have done the Cat 5 race under these conditions, but it is what it is. I should have put the time code up. I forgot to put that up when I was doing my data overlays. It's too cumbersome for me to go back and do it again. Here we are coming through the finish straight again a few laps later. Let me see if I can catch the lap counter, if we can hear anything here. There you go, 9 laps to go. I've made it a lot further than I thought I would into this race, so I call that a success already, even though I'm dangling almost the whole time, but there's still people up there. Gentleman's looking tired in front of me. I'm sure I'm looking just as tired. We still see people up there. I don't know if that's the main field or if that is a split field, but you can see people taking the turn up there. So we're hanging in there. Okay, fine, I'll take a turn. This guy pulled me around for a little while. Half a lap or so. Maybe a full lap, I don't know. Anyway, getting late in the race. I'm not sure how many laps we have left at this point. Let's see what kind of power I have here. 580. Not bad. I'm impressing myself here. Don't have enough power to get my heart rate up that high, though. I don't know that that's quite the right thing to connect, or if just the temperature difference is why my heart rate's lower. But either way, I really don't have much ability to drive my heart rate up at this point. You know, I'm pushing as far as my levels here. I'm at zone 2-3. I can bring it up for a little while, but I can't bring it up for very long. Still holding 21 down the finish straight, that slight uphill. So I sense at this point we're nearing the end, and I've learned that when you cross that line and they pull you from the course, when you cross the start-finish line, they keep track of where you were, and they place you according to that. So if you think it's inevitable, you think it's close to end time, I've learned to, in my little experience, to put in that effort and try to be ahead of somebody. Try not to let someone pass you at the end, because it affects your points, it affects your placings. So I think I put in a little effort here, sensing the inevitability of the end. I didn't think I want that guy in front of me, even though he pulled me around most of the course. Yeah, so I'm putting a little dig. Now the mechanic on the right is waving me because they're letting someone on the course that had a mechanical, but the audio, the guy with the speaker, pulled us off, the guy right there in front of me and me. And that's the guy I always talked about a lot in that. I rode with that in the Cat 5 race. There he is on that wind space bike. I think he changed his jersey, but that's him. He and I got pulled off. He ended up one place ahead of me. He really put in a good effort at the beginning. He was way up front, I think, in this Cat 4-5 race. He had a different strategy than me, and, well, it worked because he beat me by one place. Nice work. Well, thanks for watching. This is where I bend over my bike and try not to hurl on the sidewalk in front of spectators. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.